Hey guys, TJ here, and today we're going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 2. Stranger Things 2 is kind of like a mixture of Gremlins, Aliens, Star Wars, The Exorcist, Adventures in Babysitting, and The Goonies. Also kind of like Jurassic Park. I know that's 90s, but it still works. So technically it's called Stranger Things 2, not Season 2. The title sequence has the 2 after Stranger Things, so this is almost as if it's like a sequel to a movie. I'm going to call it Stranger Things 2. So Stranger Things 2 is the follow-up to the very successful first season of Stranger Things created by the Duffer Brothers. Season 1 was about trying to find Will Byers and bring him back from the Upside Down. This season is more about the consequences of what happened in Season 1, except in a certain way on a larger scale. Stranger Things 2 is 9 episodes, which is actually 1 episode longer than the first season of Stranger Things. And despite it having that 1 extra episode, I actually felt that this season felt a lot shorter than last season. And that might have something to do with the fact that last season had a singular objective, but that might just be me. So yet again, trouble is brewing in Hawkins, Indiana, and it's up to our cast to figure out what's going on and trying to put a stop to the evil plans of this mysterious upside-down world and its many nefarious inhabitants. One thing I noticed this season was that Mike, played by Finn Wolfhard, he's not necessarily as big of a character as he was in last season. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that he has a busier schedule. He was obviously in the movie It earlier this year, but it also might be because the rest of the cast was just given a little bit more character development, so he just didn't get as much of the focus. Winona Ryder isn't going super crazy like she was last season, but I think she still did a really great job. David Harbour's character, Jim Hopper, in this season was given a lot more to do. I really like his character too because he's this hardened sheriff, but he also has this really goofy side that he doesn't really get to show often. Also, Joe Carey as Steve Harrington got a lot more to do this season in terms of character development, and I'm really glad that his character's come such a long way from what he started out as in the first season. In terms of the younger actors in the show, I would probably say that Noah Schnapp, who plays Will Byers, actually was a pretty impressive performance in this season. I gotta be honest, he wasn't in much of last season at all. Obviously he was taken, but in this season he's front and center, and he really gives a great performance. This season we get to see all the kids' families. We get a little bit more of the fleshed out world. We get to see a lot of their school life. I'm not gonna spoil what happens in this season. You'll know it when you see it, but there's an episode this season that was just ripped straight out of a CW show. Like, I'm not exactly sure why they decided to have a little detour in the show and in the entire tone of the show so far, but I don't think it really paid off well. And maybe it'll somehow play into what happened in seasons down the line, but as it stood while I was watching it, it just felt out of place. And honestly, if you took the episode out, I feel like it wouldn't really change the show that much. It doesn't take away from the show's overall quality, but I kind of feel like it was just out of place. Could easily be deleted and be back to the 8 episodes that it was last season. 2 new additions to the cast of characters is Billy Hargrove and Max Mayfield. And for the longest time, I thought the guy who played Billy, I thought that was he looked like Zac Efron. And every time I see him, I thought I know it's not Zac Efron, but it looks exactly like him. Turns out he was in the new Power Rangers movie. I think he did a good job as one of the antagonists in the season, but obviously this is Stranger Things, and there are bigger things at work other than just Billy. Max is a new member of the group. While her character isn't necessarily that great, I would say that she blends in well with the dynamic of the crew so far. I just feel like she, out of the rest of the kids cast, just didn't get that much to do. She didn't have that character moment that I was expecting to come at some point in the season, which was kind of disappointing. A new addition to the cast is Sean Astin. He plays the character Bob Newby, who is Miss Byers' new boyfriend, and honestly, he's my favorite addition to this season, and I think he really works well with the chemistry that this cast already has. This season had a lot of good pair-ups between characters that you wouldn't expect. I thought the new combinations worked well for just the overall plot and the character development. And aside from the 1 episode that I wasn't really a fan of, I would think that the biggest gripe I have with this season in particular was the fact that there was not really a centralized goal for most of the cast. The first season, obviously, there is one goal that they're all working towards in one way or another, even if it's not all on the same page. But in this season, it really kind of felt a little bit more segmented, which kind of allowed for, characters to have their own side stories with, obviously an intertwining plot. But I think that the fact that the first season had that one focused goal kind of drove the plot forward, so that we were just waiting for what was going to happen next. But nonetheless, I do think that this show is very well made, is really well acted, and it just has a nice layer of polish that obviously comes with a larger production budget. And while I like the first Stranger Things more than the second, I would still say that this season is definitely still a go binge on Netflix. Well, that's all I got today, guys. I hope you liked the video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.